I thought I should just read a little bit from the beginning of Starbook. This is a story my mother began to tell me when I was a child. The rest I gleaned from the book of life among the stars, in which all things are known. There is an ancient saying in my mother's village that she used to tell me. They say, it is not who you are that makes the world respect you, but what power it is that stands behind you. It is not you that the world sees, but that power. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This story was a story that your mother told you. She began to tell you this. She told you a lot of stories. What kind of stories?
Well, my mom had an annoying habit of telling me stories whenever she wanted me to know something. So if I was doing something wrong, she wouldn't say, Ben, you're doing something wrong. She'd tell me a story. And the story would mystify me. I'd never get the point of the story till about 20 years later. And then I'd say, oh dear, that's what Mom was trying to tell me.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
So she told me stories to illustrate things. Because I think, now that I've had a lot of time to think about it, because I think she thought rightly that a story makes me think more than a direct correction. If she says, don't talk to people like that, it irritates them. She'll tell me a story about someone who talked to people like that and the strangest things happen to them, not necessarily bad things. That stayed with me, the indirect power of storytelling.
Would she ask questions?
Yeah, Mom always asked questions. She taught me how to ask questions. My father taught me how to answer them. My mom taught me how to ask them.
And I also know that you did read a lot yourself. What kind of things would you read?
Well, my earliest reading, because I began reading very early for some reason, was mostly, well, first of all, the fairy tales. I can't think of anybody of my generation or younger who I can consider fortunate who didn't read, the great fairy tales of the world, Hans Christian Andersen, the Grimm fairy tales, stories from Aesop, stories from English literature. But I also read Homer's tales very early, or rather, tales from the Odyssey, the Arabian Nights. They made a big impression on my spirit.
How old would you have been when you read Homer?
Well, not in the original. Don't start to think of me as some monstrous prodigy. I began reading very early, about 4 or 5. And also we had good teachers at school.
The rest is from the book of life among the stars in which all things are known. You say, what is that? What book?
What book or what stars?
Yes.
Yes, I know that is a deliberately dark thing to say. Well, there are some people who believe that in our consciousness is the totality of everything that humanity has experienced. Heinrich Heine, the German poet, said, under every gravestone lies the history of humanity. This is a feeling that has been shared by poets, by sages from the earliest times, that we carry all of human history inside us. In some traditions, there's a belief that there is a book somewhere in the universe and somewhere inside us, in which all things are known. I believe that when writers write about things that they don't know about, and write about them as if they knew them, they're making contact with that book. Jung might call that book the collective unconscious. Artists, composers, when they work magic, it's because they make connections with that mysterious book among the stars. You could call it inspiration if you want to be very, very materialistic about it, but I'd rather keep it on the poetic plane.